The Bhagavad Gita is a doctrine of universal truth and a book of moral and spiritual growth. Its message is sublime and non-sectarian. It deals with the most sacred metaphysical science. It imparts the knowledge of the self and answers to universal questions: who am I, and how can I lead a happy and peaceful life in this world full of dualities and dilemmas? It's a timeless book of wisdom that inspired Thoreau, Emerson, Einstein, Oppenheimer, Gandhi, and many others. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to equip ourselves for the battle of life. A repeated study with faith purifies our psyche and guides us to face the challenges of modern living, leading to inner peace and happiness. Gita teaches the spiritual science of self-realization based on the essence of Upanishads and Vedanta. The prime message of the Gita is: the ultimate purpose of life is to realize one's essential nature and become one with the Supreme Self within all of us. It assures spiritual progress for all humans and how to be one with the Supreme. Its teachings are profound, universal, uplifting, and sublime. The ignorance of metaphysical or spiritual knowledge, not knowing our real identity, is humanity's greatest predicament. It is said that there is no human mind that cannot be purified by a repeated study of the Gita. Gita explains the basic principles of spiritual science using Sanskrit poetry in a very clear and inspiring manner. Sacred relationship between the Creator and the creation is well established in the Gita. The philosophy of duty, devotion and self-knowledge is wonderfully synthesized and harmonized in the Gita, without creating any conflict among them, to give the reader eternal bliss, everlasting peace and perennial joy in life. It awakens cosmic consciousness and stimulates life with spirituality. Religion tends to create a wall of division and conflicts along religious lines, whereas spirituality unites people by breaking those walls. A spiritual person is a friend of all and a foe of none, because he considers all creatures, living or non-living, as part and parcel of the cosmic body of the Absolute, the Source. The message of the Gita came to humanity due to Arjuna's unwillingness to do his duty as a warrior, because fighting involved destruction and killing. Non-violence or ahimsa is one of the most fundamental tenets of spiritual culture. All lives, human or non-human, are sacred. This immortal discourse between the Supreme Lord, Krishna, and his devotee friend, Arjuna, occurs not in a temple, a secluded forest, or on a mountain top, but on a battlefield on the eve of a big war. Anyone can be helped by practice of only a few of its teachings. No change of one's faith or lifestyle is needed. A total of 700 verses of the Gita, in 18 chapters, are recorded in world's longest epic, Mahabharata, having over 100,000 verses in Sanskrit poetry. In Gita, Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to get up and fight. This may create a misunderstanding of the principles of non-violence if the background of the war of Mahabharata is not kept in mind. Therefore, a brief historical description is in order. In ancient times there was a king who had two sons, Dhritarashtra and Pandu. The former was born blind, therefore, Pandu inherited the kingdom. Pandu had 5 sons. They were called the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons. They were called the Kauravas. Duryodhan was the eldest of the Kauravas. After the death of King Pandu, the eldest son of Pandu became the lawful king. Duryodhan was a very jealous person. He also wanted the kingdom. The kingdom was divided into 2 halves between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Duryodhan was not satisfied with his share of the kingdom. He wanted the entire kingdom for himself. He unsuccessfully planned several foul plays to kill the Pandavas and take away their kingdom also. He unlawfully took possession of the entire kingdom of the Pandavas and refused to give back even an acre of land without a war. All mediation by Lord Krishna and others failed. The big war of Mahabharata was thus inevitable. The Pandavas were unwilling participants. They had only 2 choices: fight for their right as a matter of duty or run away from war and accept defeat for the sake of peace and non-violence. Arjuna, one of the 5 Pandav brothers, faced this dilemma in the battlefield, whether to fight or run away from war for peace. Arjuna's dilemma is, in reality, the universal dilemma. All human beings face dilemmas, big or small, in their everyday life while performing their duties. Arjuna's dilemma was a big one. He had to make a choice between fighting the war and killing his most revered guru who was on the other side, very dear friends, close relatives, and many innocent warriors, or running away from the battlefield for the sake of preserving peace and non-violence. The entire 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita are a discourse between Lord Krishna and the confused Arjuna on the battlefield near New Delhi, India, in 3139 BCE. This discourse was narrated to the blind king, Dhritarashtra, by his charioteer, Sanjay, as an eyewitness war report. The word Bhagavad means the Supreme Being, God or Bhagwan in Sanskrit. Gita means song. Thus, Bhagavad Gita means the song of God or the celestial song, because it was sung by Bhagwan Lord Krishna, an incarnation of God himself. Thanks for watching. We'll be uploading videos on each chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, breaking down its wisdom in a simple, meaningful way. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. See you in chapter 1.